Brad, everyone available, or are you thinking
Everybody's
about resting
available.
anyone? Even in the second half?
Trying to win a game. So we'll see.
Brad, before the season started, did you have any thought about the team becoming the top seed in the conference?
Didn't think about it. I haven't put much thought into it today. You know, you're just trying to, again, focus on today's game, and we'll see what happens. You know, these guys beat us last time they were here. They're going to be missing some pieces tonight, but the guys that they have playing have given us fits. So we're going to have to play well to win, and you know, that's that. I don't put a lot of time and thought into it. I'm excited about progress from the standpoint that we've been consistent in our approach, and we haven't gotten too high or too low with regard to, you know, long losing streaks or you know, things don't go our way, not being able to respond. But you know, I think most good teams are that way.
Well, from that perspective, how good is it that if you do win, with just one game, you do get that series?
Our first round opponent's going to be hard regardless. So you know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so, you know, my focus isn't going to be on the numbers next to the names. It's going to be on how you have to play to beat whoever you're playing.
Your approach to tonight's game, then, from your perspective, strictly your perspective of what you want to see out of your team as you get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, we want to play well on both ends, you know, real simply. Easier said than done. These guys put you in a lot of tough spots, and so hopefully we can play better than we did last time we played them.
Brad, the last couple of weeks you have said that really your focus has been on you. You want to see your team improve to get to the playoffs where you are now. What have you liked the most about the way the team has progressed over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we've, you know, obviously number one is availability. And then number two is I'd say that you know, we've made some good strides with certain groups on the floor. So, you know, I feel good about knowing our guys and knowing how they complement each other and what each guy brings to the table. You know, the value that they can add to help us win as we move forward. And so you feel like you've got a pretty comprehensive review of all that as you head into the last game and then next week.
Rotation and roles in the playoffs, would you say that's something that in your mind and your coaching staff you've been able to maybe hammer down a little bit more?
Yeah, but some of that stuff will be dependent on who you're playing, how they're playing, you know, adjustments that both teams make throughout the series and those type of things. I feel good about us being able to go to a number of different people within those series.
Brad, just in terms of your planning, how odd is it when Milwaukee comes in and has a bunch of guys not making the trip?
Well, the first time we played against them, I don't think Middleton played and Parker played, right? So the second game was much different than the first. The third game is much different than both. At the end of the day, when we're playing Milwaukee, we know that we've got to do a great job of handling their really creative, well-spaced actions. Brogdon gave us fits in the last game, and Monroe has, you know, just been a Celtic killer forever. So we've got to do our best to make sure that, you know, we're locked into what each guy brings to the table and try to make it more difficult. But we're not, you know, people don't overhaul how they play based on guys that aren't there. They may change an action or two. They may run some actions more than others, but they're not going to, you know, scrap what they've done for 81 games.
Coach, do you see them as being a Bucks a dangerous playoff team? Even though
yeah, I mean they're going to be. I mean, there's not a team. There's not a team in it in these 9 that you say, man, I'd like to play them. I mean, that's not. It's just not. None of those 9 are that way. All are really good teams, and somebody that's playing well is going to be left out, which is too bad. But you know, ultimately, I think the Bucks are really scary with their length, their athleticism. They fly around on defense, and then offensively, they do put you in tough spots. And I think they're one of the best in the league at taking advantage of matchups. And they have a lot of potential matchup advantages with the size that they have.
Do you look at this as a playoff game?
I look at every game as a playoff game.
Did adding Isaiah change the attitude of your team at all when you guys traded for him?
A few years ago?
Yeah. And then to now?
I don't know that it changed the attitude. I think that that's something that, we were starting to find a stride about us right before the All-Star break that year. Isaiah was a huge addition from the standpoint of he brought something to the table that we needed badly and that complemented the rest of our players. I think that he fit in with his chip on his shoulder and, his desire to prove people wrong and be great. But I don't know that he changed it per se. I think that it was, we were headed in the right direction, and then this was a big part of it. He's been a huge part of it, don't get me wrong, but I think that it's a collective effort. All of our guys have that mindset.
How do you feel you've done in managing the minutes of the Stars this year? And what was your goal coming in?
Nobody's played more than 34 minutes a game. Isaiah's on, I think, 75 games. Everybody else is less than that. We feel really good about our total minutes, our minutes per game, and where we are headed into the playoffs from a preparation standpoint and from a load standpoint thus far. So, I said the other day that the silver lining of the injuries we went through was everybody sat, and Avery missed almost 2 months, and Al missed 15 games, and Jay missed 10 games, and so we've had a good number of games missed due to that, and as a result, feel like it's more important to play right now and continue to play together.
Yeah, how much of that was a conscious effort throughout the season, or did it just kind of happen that way? Isaiah's the only guy in the top 25 in total minutes played.
No, hey, the minutes per game is a conscious effort. That's a long-term thing that you're trying to manage within a game. It's just hard to do, but very rarely did those guys get into the high 30s or low 40s. There may be a case or two where they got into the low 40s, but that's something that that's what we tried to do, and hopefully it's of benefit. We'll see.
Will that happen in the playoffs? Or would they be more likely to play more minutes in the playoffs?
I'd say you'd probably be more likely to play more minutes when those times come, but I trust everybody that's available.
Does it bother you that the perception in the East is that Cleveland is the team to beat?
No, they deserve that. Cleveland is the team to beat. There's no question about that. They deserve that, and they've been to back-to-back finals, and and so until somebody knocks them off as a defending champion, I think that's a fair way to view things.
When it comes to the playoff rotations, is it fair to say that you probably would go in with the idea of, okay, these are my 9 core guys, but in a given situation, this is the situation I might go to, for instance, Tyler, Gerald, Terry, Marcus Beckler?
Yeah, I'd say that's exactly what we'd be looking at. But again, I think, everybody's got to be ready to go because things change, injuries happen, as we saw last year. Matchups that you didn't anticipate become matchups that become important that you may need to throw somebody else at. So everybody's got to be ready.